When I took over as the IG, I made a commitment that before I leave, I would like to turn around our police stations to become center of excellences for police operations, the centers through which the people of Kenya are served. For those very good remarks that you have made, the team from the EACC with us here this morning, our CEO of the National Police Service Commission, together with the team from the Commission, the DIG Kenya Police Service, Mr. Langat, the DIG Administration Police Service, Mr. Masageri Gilbert, the representative of DCI, who is engaged elsewhere in Mombasa on some other assignments, Mr. Otieno, the commander responsible for this great challenge of ours, the leadership of the regions, that is the regional commanders, formation commanders, the teams from the DCI with us here this morning, and everybody else with us here this morning. Good morning. Good morning once again. Before I go straight to the written speech, I want to do it in summary and start by saying that, number one, as your Inspector General, I'm happy. I'm happy to be with you here this morning. I know and I'm aware that we have very many assignments in the different areas that we are on deployment. We have left those assignments to others so that we can assemble here this morning. And then we get to understand why we need to speak in one voice. Now, I think I'm 4 months, 2 weeks old as the IG. And in that period, a lot has actually happened. But we have not been able to meet collectively the way we are here today. And I thought that it is important that we meet so that all of us, we can be able to talk in one voice, so that you can be able to understand your commander's mission, because my mission is your mission. When I took over as the IG, I made a commitment that before I leave, I would like to turn around our police stations to become center of excellences for police operations, the centers through which the people of Kenya are served, and served efficiently and effectively. Why did I decide to do that? I decided to do that because for many years, the level of satisfaction to the people of Kenya from the services offered by the National Police Service has always been unsatisfactory. So we, as the leadership of the police, we must come up with ways and means to ensure that our people, our clients, get satisfied with the services that we render to them. I wanted a situation whereby even when I'm retired, even when I'm home, even when you people, you are retired, you are back at home, and you have anything to do with the policing services, you just need to report to the police, and your complaint is addressed immediately, without introducing yourself as a neighbor to Mr. Kanja, who is your IG, a neighbor to Mr. Munga, who is the commander training Kanja, so that you can actually be assisted. We wanted our systems to work in a manner that they can address your issues without stating how close you are to Mr. Masengeri.
Yes, sir.
And I'm happy that you almost became a bishop. That's good. We want a situation whereby when I'm launching a complaint to the police, I don't need to start by reporting that, I know Mr. Rangati, we go to church together, we are in the choir, so that you get assisted.
He's my neighbor.
We don't want that. Don't come to tell me that you know the CEO of the EACC, so that now you can be assisted in our policing services, yeah? We want a situation whereby my mother can go and report to our station there where I come from, and she is served, without ever mentioning that, my son is the IG. I am a relative to the IG. No. That is the kind of station that we want to serve this great republic of ours. We have a good country. I know you are senior commanders. You have traveled widely in many countries of this world. Kenya is a jewel. Ama namna gani? Mimi naongea uongo. Kenya ni nchi mzuri. Go to the north now. The areas are terrible. They are very cold. You don't even wish to spend an extra minute there. It is terrible. It's very cold. I know some of you have been traveling there, including my good friend. You were the other day in Europe. It must be terrible. But in our place, it's good. We have got good weather. A few kilometers you are there in the national park. 45 minutes uko kwa ile desert iko uko Bali, si kweli? 45 minutes you are down in Mombasa there. Ukiogelea karibu na kwa Mr. Munga. That is Kenya. So, because we are endowed, our country is endowed with good resources, why don't we take care of that by ensuring that we go an extra mile to ensure that our people are served by the policing services and served well, and served with devotion, bila kutoa kitu kidogo, si ndio? That is the kind of policing that we want. So when I made that commitment, I also knew that it is not a walk in the park, because along the line, you will meet with the detractors who will try to distract you from that, from the trajectory. You will meet with many other challenges. But now, because we are with you, that is the reason why I assembled you here today, so that we can agree to walk that journey together for making our police stations becomes the center of excellence for police operations. We walk the journey together. That is the reason why I have assembled all the regional commanders, I have assembled all the formation commanders, I have assembled the DCI teams, I have assembled the trainers, and everybody else who matter in the policing service is here, so that we can walk that journey together. About 6 weeks ago now, we launched our strategic plan. Our strategic plan has got the roadmap that is going to take us where we want to be in the next 5 years. And we are on course. As we speak, we are on course. And in the next few weeks, we'll also be meeting with the other donors who are going to come and support us so that we can be able to achieve what we are assessed for. So, I want to urge you, as the senior leadership of the National Police Service, to support me in that journey, so that we work together, and by the end of the day, because we will have those teachings that are performing above 70%, then we will say that we have done it together, and we will live to enjoy that. Because that is what will allow you to go on your leave. That is what will allow you to take an off duty, go and spend your 5 days home with your family, and return back after 5 days. But if there are challenges, I can tell you today, you will be given an opportunity to go home, and then 2 days later, the commanders are calling you back to your duty station because iko na maneno. Si kweli? So, if we can be able to work together, if we can be able to join our hands together and ensure that our stations are performing, because our stations are at the position where the tire meets the tarmac. That is where the public actually reports the issues. And you understand that police is an integral part of our society. We are conjoined at the hip with the society. We need each other at all times. And that's the reason why there is always a lot of complaint directed towards police, because the expectation is below par. That is why we normally get those complaints. So we must decide in one accord to work together for the betterment of our society. In any case, as the CEO, National Police Service, has indicated, the President himself, Dr. William Samuel Ruto, expects a lot from the National Police Service. And he has also done so much for this service. The Maraga report is already completed, it's there, the implementation is on course. What we are implementing right now is about Maraga report, and we will continue to implement it, because by so doing, we will make the service better for all of us, for the society, and even we, the officers who are serving in that service. So our government has done a lot, and the government is willing to continue supporting us. So the ball is on our court, that we must do whatever it takes to see to it that we achieve what we want to achieve. And what we want to achieve is to ensure that our stations become the center of excellence for the police operation. By so doing, my intention is to start with the automation agenda. We need to automate all the policing services, because if we automate the services, my belief is that, number one, we will improve service delivery to the people. We will enhance our capability. We will shorten the period of time taken to serve the people, to serve any complaint that has been made to the police. We need to digitize the occurrence book in a manner that you can be able to launch your complaint at the comfort of your home, in your car, in a hotel, when you are taking a cup of tea, when you are taking your lunch. You can still launch a complaint with the nearest police station. Today, for those who understand this, several years ago, we used to go around hunting for taxis, because they had something there on the top written tax. So you could walk around in Nairobi town looking for tax. Now, you don't need to walk around. You need to order just one in your office, at your home. You just order for one Uber, and then it comes there. How do we do it? Because they adopted technology to do that, and to make our life much more easier. Through that application, you can be able to see that within this area, there are around 4 vehicles from the Uber Tax Association. But the nearest one is 2 minutes away. And the driver will be calling you in the next few minutes. And true to the word, the driver calls you, where are you? So this is the kind of things that we need to adopt, so that we can be able to enhance the ability and capability of the policing services in the Republic of Kenya. And that is the reason why I'm saying, by automating our services, it will become much better. It will become much easier for all of us. It will become much easier for our officers who are at that point where the tire meets the tarmac. It will become very easy for community policing, because you can, at the touch of the button, you can be able to get in touch with anybody that you want to get in touch. The reporting times are reduced to almost zero. We can be able to see through the dashboards an active, hardworking OCS. We can be able to get to know that this one is okay, this one is not really, his output is too low. So a decision can be made to, to kick him away and put somebody else who can be able to work, and so many other good things. So by automating, we will enhance our capability of supervising the service. The regional commanders will be in a position to see what is happening within their counties. They will be able to see their stations. What is it that is happening in station A, in station B? And he is in his office, can be able to do. That is what technology can actually be able to do for us. The Inspector General can be able to see. A complaint is launched and you can be able to ask a question. Why is it that in station A, things are not going right? What is the problem there? And then that way, you can be able to address them, and hence enhancing the ability of the policing services. So that is the kind of things that we want to happen to this service. As we speak, there is a team that will be leaving, I don't know whether it is today or tomorrow. They are leaving for Rwanda. The other day we were down there with we had an IAPCO meeting, and we did agree with the Inspector General of Rwanda, who is also the chair, the current chair of IAPCO, that we will be sending a team from Kenya to go and do benchmarking in Rwanda, because Rwanda has automated their occurrence book. They have automated the traffic offenses and many other services that are offered by the police service. So we are sending a team there quickly to go and do benchmarking, because we don't want to reinvent wheels here. No, we want to do what others have done. That is basically the reason why in Rwanda there is more discipline on the roads. Because whatever you do there, through the digital system, you can be seen and punished on the spot. But in Kenya, there is a problem, because majority of these activities, we, the supervisors, we don't see what happens. We are nowhere near whatever happens at that level. You only get things happening, that some guys were collecting some money somewhere, they have been arrested somewhere. Others are doing ABCD, they are almost getting lynched by the public, you know. So now, when you do your job as a supervisor, those things become things of the past, because you can be able to ask a question much earlier. The commander Nyanza can get to know what is happening at the corner of Nyanza there, at the touch of the button. The county police commanders can get to understand what is happening within their divisions and stations, within their jurisdictions. That is the kind of a situation that we are really, really looking forward to. Case management, what the DCI is doing. We want to enhance that capability in a manner that even our judiciary can actually be able to follow whatever cases we are following up within the policing systems. The ODPP can be able actually to follow, so that now this the legal justice system can actually be able to work together. Look, right now, the judiciary is highly automated, the ODPP is highly automated, but of course, they are small organizations. It is not like this entity. We are more than 120,000 police officers. We are on deployment throughout the Republic of Kenya. We are on deployment in each and every village in the Republic of Kenya. So we are talking of a huge entity. So some of the things are not all that easy, but we are ready for it. That's why we are saying we need to walk that journey together, so that we can be able to reach each and every village in this great Republic of Kenya. And that way, we can be able to ensure that we are okay. The other thing that we need to do is to empower the critical directorates, because by so doing, we will also be successful. For example, I'm thinking of the annual of DCI that deals with drugs and narcotics. We need to empower it to the levels of ATPU, because we know some of the proceeds of drugs go to support the activities of terrorism. In Kenya, we have got a huge deployment that protects this country against terror and terrorism activities. So if we can be able to empower the ANU, then it means even the kinds of deployment that we are seeing there will go down, and then we can be able to deploy in other much needed areas where we need additional officers. That's the reason why my thinking is that we need to look at some of the directorates and empower them. And by empowering, we are empowering our service. I want us to ensure that the community directorate, the community policing directorate is empowered. Because my belief is that when we work with the community, we can be able to police and the policing services becomes much easier. Because we can be able to easily get information from the public, and we can also be able to give the public information from our end, because it's a two-way system. So how do we go about it? By ensuring that we empower the directorate so that it can be able to create other small teams out there to ensure that we enrich and entrench community services within our systems and in the Republic. And by so doing, we also have succeeded very well. And then finally, I would also like to mention that for quite some time we have been dealing with the issues of illicit brews, drugs, second generation brews, and so forth and so forth. The other day we wrote a signal advising that you continue with that operation. We don't need to be reminded by the president from time to time that continue working on that trajectory. In fact, the president called me and said, advise your commanders out there to continue in that trajectory. You know, those more time complaints that the illicit brews have started, they are gaining roots in some areas. Please, you are the commanders on the ground, and you know the start of the position of the government is that we must root out illicit brews, we must root out all drugs, we must root out second generation, we must kill all the manufacturers of second generation brews. We must do that as a matter of urgency. Don't allow ethanol to go anywhere near your area, because that will become your water hole. Please, don't allow. And if our officers are involved in that, you are the commanders to punish them. Punish them heavily, because their actions will be going against the wish of the government. The wish of the government is to ensure that we have a society that is free of illicit brews, free of second generation, free of drugs. In Kenya today, for some times, we used to be a transit center for drugs. But now, we are consumers. All of us here, we are all parents. We are all parents, some of you are grandparents, and so forth and so forth. Please, those drugs will be consumed by your children. You are in a position to ensure that that does not happen. As a commander of the National Police Service, please don't allow drugs to take root anywhere near your area. Please don't allow. They will kill this society. They will kill our young generation. Our young generation is our future, is the guarantee of the Republic of Kenya. We are in a position to ensure that those children don't get anywhere near those drugs, because we have a responsibility, we have a cardinal duty. Leadership is given by God. Sinikweli, you are all leaders. You must stop. You must stop that. Don't allow it to happen. That is my rallying call to all of you. Don't allow drugs to take root anywhere near you. Any officer involved in that, kick him out. And don't be apologetic. You kick him out. Na uniambie ni huyu. Finally, I would wish that all our officers to operate within the frameworks of the law. We have agreed. Remember, even when I was being feted by Parliament, I told the Parliament that I personally will operate within the frameworks of the law. So all of you, we must operate within the frameworks of the law. That way, we can actually be able to defend the service, and we can also be defended by the same law when we operate within that way. And in fact, we are ready to go to the highest level, even to the president, to tell him that this is an officer who operates within the law. So, hii maneno ingine unasikia yote, si ya ukweli mahali, si ndio? That is the level that we can be able to go. Kutetea watu wetu wale wamefanya kazi within the law, sio? Yes, but again, on the other hand, to the contrary, any officer operating outside the law, sasa hapo iko shida. Because we will not support you. No. So let us operate within the law, and the law will be our defender. The law will be our defender. So you are there to protect the law. You are there to protect the Constitution at all times. And you are there to ensure that our services are offered to the people, and offered in a manner that is acceptable, effective, and in an efficient way. I know there are many challenges. For example, motor transport is a big challenge. I know 50% of our stations don't have any motor transport. But those are issues that are being addressed. You have heard it from the CEO here that the issues of the senior command, the senior leadership salaries and whatever, they are being addressed so that you can be brought to par together with others. But hiyo ni maneno yetu, si ni kweli? Hiyo ni maneno yetu, hiyo tunatengeneza pole pole. And it will be okay. Then finally, the National Police Service is also, the Commission is also addressing the establishment in the policing service. We want to get our right establishment so that now, even when we are saying that we want to recruit 5,000, we want to recruit 10,000, we know exactly we are getting these numbers from our establishment, yeah? As opposed to saying that, you know, per year we lose around 5,000, so we can recruit around 10,000 or something. No, we want to be guided by an establishment. So we are again working on that together with the National Police Service Commission. And I'm sure shortly we will be having our establishment with us, where now we can be able to plan and plan very, very well. Finally, there is our medical hostel, the new medical hostel that is upcoming. We are planning to launch it very, very, very soon. There are a few things that are being done, including the registration of the hostel as required by the law, as required by the medical practitioners, that it needs to be registered. And then that way we can be able now to operationalize it. We can start by outpatient services, and then from there now we continue to enrich and deepen whatever kind of services that can be offered by that hostel. I know by that alone, many of our officers will get a lot of support. Many of our families will get a lot of support. Then I need to mention something to do with the Veterans Bill. The Veterans Bill is still being worked out by our legal teams, Nikweli. So we want you to hasten the Veterans Bill so that we can send it immediately to our to the office of our cabinet secretary, so that then later on is actually sent to Parliament for activation. And that way, we can now be able to address the issues affecting our officers who are injured in the field, who are killed in the front line, what happens with their families, what happens with their dependents, and so forth, including the retired officers. How can they be addressed? The Veterans Bill is the one that will ensure us that we are covered in that level. So there is every need for the Veterans Bill to be addressed, and be addressed quickly, because it is going to save us a lot of problems. Right now, the Inspector General, the only thing he can do to the young families that are left behind by our colleagues who die in the front line is probably to offer some employment whenever police is recruiting for those who are qualified, or something similar to that, but nothing much. We want the Veterans Bills that can be able to guide on that. We want the Veterans Bill that can be able to guide even on the retired officers. That is the reason why we are moving in that direction. Of course, there are a few other bills that are also being addressed by our legal teams, and I'm sure they are all meant to support us. So now, having said that, let me go back to the reasons why we are here today. We have our teams from the EACC. And remember, I have told you that I want our stations to become the center of excellence of police operations.
ushujaa, naibu mkurugenzi wa idara ya upelelezi Bwana John Onyango, mwenyeji wetu akiwa ni kamanda wa chuo cha kitaifa cha huduma ya polisi Mbewa Lembakasi akiwa ni msaidizi mkuu wa Inspector General.
Allow to happen, and that is why the IG has found it necessary, just as he does from time to time, to bring us together, share in some elements, discuss